Okay. I just wanted to talk briefly about Fallout 76 and my impression of the game based on my time in the beta. Overall, I liked it. I thought it was good. Going into it, I was on the fence. I wasn't really sure making the transition from a single-player game, which is what we're accustomed to in the Fallout franchise, to a multiplayer game was going to translate well for this series. But overall, I think it worked out pretty well. There are things I like about it a lot, and there are things that I don't like about it, which is, I guess, true for any game. So I just kind of wanted to go through a little bit of that with you guys. I guess right off the bat I should say that I didn't get terribly far in the beta. I played for, several hours over the course of 2 nights. So I got a good feel for how the game plays and, kind of what's available to you. But by no means that I get to do everything, so my experience isn't exactly comprehensive. But what I did play, I thought overall was really good. My main concern, really, going into it, was would it feel like a Fallout game? And it does. It feels like a Fallout game. If you played Fallout 4, the controls, you'll be right at home. It's essentially the same. Even the base building for the most part. But having said that, it is a lot different from what you're used to if you're a fan of the series. The first night that I played strictly solo. I didn't group up with anybody for anything. And I had fun with it. It was okay. But if I'm being honest, I didn't have as much fun as I would have had in a single-player experience. There was no immersion, I guess. Nothing really pulled you in, into a story or made you feel compelled to learn more or read more, about a certain event or anything like that. And the lack of NPCs really kind of pushed that feeling. Because, that's kind of the best part of Fallout in the single-player games is the characters that you meet. So, that was kind of iffy. However, the second night that I played was a 7-hour beta. And I played pretty much all of that in a group. And that was a lot of fun. Like a lot of fun. So, the takeaway there, I guess, is if you have a solid group, people that you play with regularly, and you're all going to be on the game, you're going to have a lot of fun. But if you're primarily a solo player, then this might not be the game for you. You can still play it and have a lot of fun, but I'm not sure if the longevity is going to be there for you. Especially considering a game like Fallout, where you might normally put in, a few hundred hours. I don't think you're going to be able to get that out of this game by yourself. So, I'm not saying don't try it. I'm just saying, if you do try it, kind of go into it with an expectation of it being vastly different from what you're used to. I got to play a little bit of the PvP, and I got to say, I really like it. In general, I'm a fan of PvP in most games anyway, so that wasn't terribly surprising. But there was the concern of griefing. I see that a lot, on forums and stuff. And I gotta say, I don't think it's as bad as people are thinking it will be. Maybe, later in the game at higher levels, but even then I don't think so. They got a pretty good system for PvP, and it can be exploited, but people would actually have to go out of their way to do that. So I don't think that's as big of a problem. I think there are improvements that could be made there, but nothing major. As far as the map is huge. Fast travel, as with most games, kind of takes away from that a little bit. And fast travel in this game is really easy to do. Especially if you're in a group, because you can fast travel to your teammates for free. So if you're in a group and everybody has their camps kind of spread out, because you can fast travel to your camp for free too, then you can really get around the map really fast, so it kind of negates the size of it. That's not necessarily a drawback for me, but I think maybe for some people that might be important to mention. Other than that, it's pretty much like Fallout games, but there are a few things that are different, like gearing. You're going to pick up items that have level limits on it, which is different for Fallout. Normally in Fallout, you pick up a super cool weapon, you just throw it on and start shooting. Not so much in this game. There were several times where I picked up weapons and armor that had a level requirement that was quite a bit higher than my actual level. So that's something to keep in mind, I guess. But again, I don't think it took away from the experience. It was just kind of disappointing to pick up something and not be able to use it right away. So overall, I like the game. I anticipate spending many hours playing it. But then again, I have a dedicated group, to play with. So I think that's the big consideration here. If you have a group that you play with a lot, then there's a lot of fun to be had here. But if you play primarily solo, then you're going to have to really think about how bad you want to play a new Fallout, I guess. Anyway, I just wanted to share some of my thoughts on it. I hope you guys do have a solid group to play with, and I hope you get in the game, and I hope to see you out there. And thanks for watching.